On the 4512T, this is the model with the extended boom. You have 17 grease nipples on the front. You'll see on every pivot point there is. This is on your quick hitch pins. You'll have one each side. Here you have one each side on this pivot point, and then you will have a grease point on that cylinder on the inside, on that pin. You don't have a grease nipple on this side of the cylinder, neither on that side of the cylinder. The other grease nipple is situated here, is 6 around here for greasing your shaft. Then on both of these cylinders you have on each side. This side one, and then there's the pipes going here for easy access on the outsides. So both these cylinders on both ends have grease nipples. And then lastly on the inside here, you'll see on these pins there's grease nipples on each side. For those who have the S model with a standard H frame, you have 15 grease nipples. You will find them here on each pivot point, at the bottom on both sides, in the center there. On your Z-link you have on each pivot point on the pins you have grease nipples. And once again on both sides of the cylinders. This cylinder that side, other side again, and on the other side of the machine. If you look at the steering of the machine, you will find there's 6 grease nipples. On both of the cylinders you have 2, and then you have the top grease nipple there and the bottom grease nipple here. The front part of your cylinder is here, also with a pipe for easy access so you can grease them. So in total you have 6. When you look at your drive shafts, you'll see you have on your yokes, you have a grease nipple on this cross there. You'll see it there on the other side. Then you have here by the splines, you have a grease nipple there, and once again here. So you have 3 per shaft. You have 2 shafts on these machines, so both of them must be greased. In total on your shafts you have 6 grease nipples. So please remember to check in your toolbox. There is a special fitting for your yokes to grease them. They're quite difficult to get in with a normal head, but we supply you with a special point to grease those. On your center pivot on your rear axle, you'll find there underneath the fender on both sides in the front section, you'll find the center pivot pins. So your center pivot on your rear axle have 2 grease nipples, one on the right hand side in the front and one in the left hand side in the front. If you look at the back of the fender, you'll find here is the cylinder for your backhoe's arm. On both sides there is a grease nipple there, so that is for the inner grease nipple on your turning of your boom at the back. As you see, I mentioned there in the fender is the 2 on both sides, so those 2 and the front 2 is situated here on the cylinders. This side, other side as well, and then you have the same there, your grease nipple on the bottom and grease nipple on the top. So in total of your turning on your backhoe you have 6 grease nipples. Please take note at the back, this is not one pin, they're 2 short pins, so there are 2 grease nipples, one on this side, one on the other side. So counting them, there's 13 at the backhoe arm. So you will have the bottom 2, then you will have the 2 on the first cylinder, top and bottom, then you will have the 2 on the second cylinder, top and bottom, then you have 2 on the third cylinder, top and bottom. Then you will have on your bucket, you have 2 separate grease nipples, 1, 2, and then your third one is sitting here, the fourth one is there, and that is all. Then in total you have 13 on your backhoe. So when you want to access your engine compartment, you just trigger that seat like that. You have a safety latch at the bottom, so you open that up and then you just lift it up. Just remember, when you're lifting up this one, your seat will press against the backhoe's arm, so make sure your safety pin is in, otherwise your backhoe will drop like that one. Okay. When you take a look at the engine, you will find on the left hand side here is situated your dipstick. Engine oil you throw into this plug. Your air filter is situated here. We'll go around to show you how to remove that one. You'll find the air filter is situated here. It has two clips there, and you pop it out like that and drop the face. So this is what they call a power core. So you have your turbulence tubes here. You have an outer filter there. This one you cannot tap against the wheel, you'll damage this face. This one cannot be cleaned, so once it's dirty, if you cannot bump out the grease or the dust like this, you can throw this one away and replace it. You'll see there is an inner, that orange filter there. You must always make sure that one is located deeply into its socket, otherwise this one won't have a proper seal against this face here. We are equipping these ones with an indicator that we screw on here, so just to show you how the indicator looks. So this small little thing is called an indicator. You will see there's a green line there. Once it turns red, your filter is blocked. You can check it again by just depressing there, give it a full rev. If it goes red again, then you know your filter is blocked. Then you can either try to shake it out as I showed you there, otherwise you need to replace it. You'll see your water bottle is situated on the outside. There's your water level. That's full, that's low. So anywhere in between there should be fine. Usually we just throw it up there. You must bear in mind when the machine gets hot, it sits a bit out, so leave a little bit of space there. The cap is here. Make sure you always put on this one correctly, otherwise you will have heating problems. Make always sure on a radiator cap that seal is in place to make certain there's a proper seal. This side is your diesel tank. This is on the right hand side of the machine. You have two manual side glasses and an electronic gauge on the inside and a lockable cap. You just need to put a small key lock on there. On the left hand side you will find your hydraulic tank. This machine takes 68 hydraulic. Always make sure you put up to 3/4 of the tank full. This one has not been pre-aired yet. There's a little bit short here. To top it up, you add about 5 liters to get it up to here. So make sure this tank is always at 3/4. You'll find in the middle, the side glass is only if you see it while the machine is standing still and you can see the oil level about here, then you know there is a short in the oil. The only time you measure this one is you put your machine in idle and then you start it up. When the level drops and you see it in the side glass, you need to add oil while it's idling until you can't see the oil level here anymore. So please make sure if you see oil level there, you do not have sufficient oil in the system, please add it while the machine is running. That will be situated here on top. You'll see there's a red cap there. You fill up the transmission oil there. It's 10W30 UTA oil, that's universal transmission oil. So you can use that or ATF depending. For more information you can contact us and we will help you with the procedure of filling up the transmission and which oils is okay to use on this machine. All our models is equipped with a hydraulic quick hitch, the T model and the S model. You'll see you have external hydraulics here, so you can connect them as well. But bear in mind this is a safety for when you're using the quick hitch. So if you're working around people or working in a dangerous area, please, we always advise the people to lock these valves. To lock them is like this, so that just prevents for accidental detach of your attachments. These pins will move in and out. It should be flush on this side, so you can see this one has moved in. So for that case you turn up this safety lock there. Also when you want to use your additional hydraulics, you need to switch over this valve. On the operations of the machine, you will find this one has a vacuum booster at the bottom. So this one is not air brakes or air assisted. This works from a vacuum pump of your alternator. So you have your brake pedal on this side. As soon as you press the brakes, your transmission will disengage and it will engage your brakes. So please bear in mind, do not rev up your machine while depressing the brake and suddenly release. You can put strain on your transmission. On this side you have your throttle. You have another throttle at the back, but we'll get there. You have a forward, neutral and a reverse on the first lever. Then you have a low, neutral and a high, or it's better calling it a 1 and a neutral and a 2, but this is so this lever you can change while you're driving. So always you can change from 1 to 2 while driving without any load on your transmission. In other words, if you're changing from 1 till 2, your foot must be off the throttle and without any load, then you can continue. Never change from second to first. You will have an immediate stop on all your wheels. It can put a lot of strain on your drivetrain, and you will probably end up against the window. So in the sensor here on the right hand side you have your ignition. This one is not turning on because you have a safety switch at the bottom here. If you turn that one on, you'll see everything is working. So this machine is equipped with a reverse camera. When the machine is idling and you put it in reverse, your camera will illuminate and show you at the back. You have your joystick here for up and down, and then you have your tilt function left and right. This one for the boom, that is the telescopic boom, you have a lever here to push in and pull back. You have this one is your quick hitch lever. You will see that is how you use your detach and attach your attachments. And then if you use your external hydraulics, you can use it either way. You have both way rotation on that. The rear lever, you have, if you have it in the straight neutral position, then it is working on your front side of the machine. So in other words, if you put it in this position towards you, it will work the back side of the machine, in other words your back. If you put it to the forward position, that function is not being used. It's blocked off. It is for an alternative function. We do not use it except on special request, and we can assist the clients with that. So this is not being used. It is not to be operated in that position. You will hear immediately there's load on the engine, and then it could cause hydraulic heat up. Okay, so at the back here you have an engine kill switch. Pull that one up. This one does not have an ignition shut off. You can only kill the engine with this cable. To rotate to the back side of the machine, you pull this lever forward, you can move your seat, and then there's a small button you push there. You can obviously try and do that while you're sitting. You have a handbrake here. The handbrake works off a separate caliper on the center at the back of the rear drive shaft. So this is operated from there. It's totally separate of your normal braking system. With all these levers in place here, you have on the left hand side your hand throttle. This is your left leg up and down. This is your right leg up and down. This one is additional hydraulics also add on our machines. You'll find in the front section there, to equip an auger or a jackhammer or whatever, you have 2 hydraulic points you can attach, and then you have hydraulic feed in the front already. You'll find your joysticks. You have your first arm in and out, and then you have your bucket tilt, and then you will have on this side you'll have your second arm in and out, and then you will have your rotate left and rotate right. Okay, on this side this is a safety hitch for when you're driving, please ensure to put on this hitch, otherwise your backer will lower slowly and it can drag behind and you won't notice it. So please, you lift up your bucket, your backer arm, and then you can connect that one, and then you know it's safe. On the left hand side here you have an aircon, so the fan speed is adjusted there. This side is the temperature adjustment. When you're using it, we suggest to put it on full blow the whole time. You have a small little fire extinguisher there, and then you have a heater fan in the front. So when you're driving, you have the aircon at the back, and if you need a heater, you can turn it on here. There is a heater box in the inside. If you do not want to use it as a heater and instead of a fan, you can disconnect the pipes, or you can add a ball valve to turn off the warm flow, but that is mostly used for demisting your windows in the front. You have a small interior fan on this side. Your windows, you have these special clips, left hand side and right hand side, then you can adjust your window any height you want. This small button here is your router, so if you're working at the back, you can call someone with that button. If you have a look here, to close your door you need to push that pin and turn it around. When you're on the inside, same thing, you have a small lever this side, and then you can open. That is just to keep the door from closing on its own, so you clip it in that side and then it's rigid. You'll find on the left hand side is your RPM, on the right hand side is your engine temperature. At the bottom here is your hour display, that is your voltage reading. When it's off, it's 24 volts. When you start the machine, it should go up to anything from 27 to 28 depending on your RPMs. This one here is your transmission pressure, that should be just about 1.2, 1.4 when you're driving or when the machine is idling. And then you have your oil pressure gauge there, so this is engine oil pressure. When you're driving, it should climb up. If it's in the red, there's a problem. The top one is your digital fuel gauge, that's the buzzer going off there because there's no fuel in. So if you have fuel in, it will display you the amount. So you have your flickers here, right hand side, left hand side, and you have your work lights, more work lights. This is glow plugs, usually not used by us. You have your window wiper, and then on this side you will have your rear working lights. You have a small little fuse box here. The radio is mostly a Bluetooth and USB radio. It is the most in the areas the antenna doesn't catch up a decent signal, so you can connect your phone with it and play via Bluetooth, answer your calls, and then you can use it on a USB. It doesn't have a CD. This is your brake fluid for your brakes. It takes normal .4 brake fluid, so you can just top it up there. So on the HZM 4512U, it's a quite nimble, handy machine. Please just be aware of the limitations. This is a narrow machine and it's quite high, so know your limitations on angles and know your limitations on operation and speed. Also be aware when you're riding with weight up high, it is more top heavy. And also if you have the telescopic boom, please note the rating that was given for the lift at the front is when the arm is turned in, all the way in, not extended. So please use this machine with caution. Do not abuse the capabilities of the machine. It could lead to serious harm or damage. Just want to show you the feet at the back. So your feet go straight down. You do not have the arm that lowers like that. You have them both sides. That is for stability. We strongly advise not to use the back arm without to stabilize the feet down. Usually a good practice is to lower your stabilizer feet at the back and put your bucket down in the front for extra stability. Please practice caution when you swinging the arm with a lot of weight. Make sure there's no one around.